pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this part of the meeting to order. The next item on the agenda is for the board to hold a preliminary hearing on the proposed construction project. If you were interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you have signed the sign-up sheet, which should include your name and address. After a presentation by the administration and its advisors, there will be an opportunity for the public to make comments about the project. At the hearing, we will ask that each person limit their comments to 3 minutes and that the topic be limited to the proposed project under consideration. The notice of this preliminary determination hearing was published as legally required. At this time, I will ask that our superintendent explain the purpose of this hearing.
All right, thank you, President Allen. So pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1.1-20-3.1, a school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminarily determine to issue bonds or enter a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of certain thresholds, or if the school corporation has a debt service fund tax rate above a certain amount. The public hearing is the very beginning of the legal process. We note that no board action is legally required at this hearing. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment regarding the project.
We will now hear from our superintendent about the process of determining and communicating the project to the community and the need for the project.
So we are calling this our 2026 General Obligation Bond, or GO bond. And as we've discussed prior to this evening, this is pretty much primarily to support the operations fund. Senate Enrolled Act 1 caused us to lose about $190,000 in our operations fund budget this year. And our partners at Stiefel and Ice Miller have helped us to kind of develop a plan to combat that and also tackle some small projects along the way. So I know it says, proposed construction project, but this is really just smaller ticket type items. To be smaller repairs, school buses, maybe some technology related expenses. Things that might be a little more costly than what we want to take out of the regular budget from the operations fund, and then also kind of support what we're losing in the operations fund because of Senate Enrolled Act 1 this year. So
We will now hear from Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, our underwriter, about how the proposed project will be financed, as well as information about the effect on the typical property taxpayer.
you probably remember our friend Luke Brueggemann from Stiefel. So Luke's been here with us before, along with Chad Blacklock, and they've been great partners to work with. So we appreciate Luke being here tonight to help us through this.
Good evening. Luke Brueggemann with Stiefel, again, Service Bond Underwriter. It's good to see everyone again. As Superintendent Anderson mentioned, really the goal here is how do we fund this and relieve some pressure off of your operations fund and do it within your current debt service levy. So I'll show that here in the next couple slides. No resolutions are being passed tonight. This is really just for public feedback and for your consideration. If you decide to move forward, the numbers that are in the last slide will be set forth in the resolution at the March 10th meeting. The parameters that are on the last slide are conservative in nature. We set them as maximums because once they're set, we cannot go over them, but we can go under them. So on the first slide is the school corporation's current debt service levy. That's really just made up of the school corporation's debt payments and factors in some miscellaneous revenue that you receive into that fund and the cash balance that you have in that fund. So you'll see from 26 to 27 there is a drop off in your levy. To maintain your 2026 levy, you need to close on a bond issue by the end of this year to get a levy in place for 2027. So if you flip to the next slide, that would be the proposed 2026 general obligation bonds of $995,000. So the goal would be to structure this in a manner to maintain your current debt service fund levy, so there's no tax increase because of it, but also want to make sure that we're maintaining some capacity in the future. We know that there's going to be additional needs that come up, technology, buses, roofs, those things that just seem to add up over time. So I want to make sure that we're leaving capacity for future projects as well. So you'll see that as the payments kind of dip off in 2029, again in 30, and then are completely paid off within a 5-year period to make sure that we leave some capacity for future school corporation needs. If you flip to the next slide, this is the maximum legal parameters of the 2026 GO bonds. The maximum borrowing amount or par amount would be $995,000. Professional fees of $100,000. That's on the high end. Typically, when we do these types of transactions, it's closer to about $50,000, maybe $60,000. Any additional dollars would just flow to that next line, which is estimated proceeds available for hard and soft project costs. So the lower that we can keep that, there's more dollars for you, and that's certainly our goal here. The estimated interest rates of 2 to 7%. If you sold bonds today, you're at about a 4% interest rate. Again, this is the first step in the legal process, so try to be conservative early on. But so that's why we put 2 to 7% there, and the estimated total interest cost is based upon that 7% interest rate. The maximum term for a bond issue for this bond issue is 10 years. As I showed in the previous slide, the expectation is that it's going to be 5 years. Maximum annual payment of $625,000 is the maximum that you can make on these bonds in any given year. If you simply divide that by your net assessed value, you get a maximum tax rate impact of 0.1953 cents. As I showed in the previous slide, though, there's no, because you have some levy falling off, there's no increase to your 2026 debt service levy. So that's probably the most important piece here on the slide. And what was shown on the prior slide as well is no tax increase because of this GO bond. A couple other ratios, again, that you'll see in the resolution set forth at the March meeting. The first one is the school corporation's max annual payments as a percentage of the school corporation's net assessed value, which is 0.66%. And then lastly is the direct and overlapping debt as a percentage of your net assessed value is 9.11%. That is factoring in all of the other municipalities' property tax backed debt, so your county, library, town, township, all of their property tax debt, and yours as a percentage of the school corporation's net assessed value. Probably won't read through all of this at the March hearing, but I did want to kind of go through each one of those in case you all have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So my only thing, I guess, with this is our approach to the shortfalls that we have, rather than following suit with a lot of surrounding school corporations and having a referendum and a few things like that, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's up to the board, you know, eventually. You know, I mean, my opinion is that, you know, I don't think we can take referendum off the table yet. I mean, that's just my opinion, though. That's ultimately up to you, to the board. But I think for the time being, at least, this will help offset, you know, those costs in the operations fund that we're, you know, losing. So that way we can continue to purchase a bus a year or thereabouts, and make sure that we're, you know, fixing other things that need to be taken care of around the school. And so when Buzz was working on the operations budget, we had to deduct that, you know, about $190,000 is where it ended up landing. First thing you took out was the bus, and those are, I think it was about $135,000. Was that the last big bus we paid for? About $140,000 for that. So I mean, that right there, once you take it off, you know, now we're a lot closer to having a balanced budget than we were before. However, we also don't want to get back in the same
So we get in a
situation
bind
where
when buses is always
purchase.
something that's put off for some, because of the cost.
yeah,
But then we get in a bind, we haven't bought a bus in
right.
how long?
We didn't buy a bus in 4 or 5 years, and so I just don't make sure we don't get behind on that. So, you know, so to answer your question, you know, like I said, ultimately that'll be up to you potentially later in the year. I mean, I know a lot of districts are still considering that. Certainly don't want to have to do a referendum, but might have to consider it in order to keep up with what everyone else is, you know, is doing, and be able to pay our teachers what surrounding districts are paying their teachers. So,
Along with that, isn't there a law that got passed maybe with that same SAE one that this has to be approved by the voters or more transparent, or that it's staying tax neutral or whatever?
Only if you reach certain thresholds in the debt service. So our debt service is at, is it 54 cents
I think 59.
or 59 cents? If you get above 70 cents in debt service, that's when it would go to referendum, right?
Any new project would have to go to referendum.
So we're kind of within the threshold still. Is that 40 to 70 cents?
That's right.
So if you're 40 to 70 cents debt service, then there's less, less hoops to jump through or whatever you want to call it. But so we're kind of under that threshold still. But with assessed valuations predicted to go down with Senate Enrolled Act 1, we anticipate not having a lot of growth in our net assessed valuation, and I'm sure Luke could speak to it better than I could, but we don't anticipate natural growth like we've seen over the last few years. That's kind of helped operations along. So
The one thing I would add too is that you have 3 years to spend these bond proceeds, so it's not that you have to go out and buy all the buses right now. So a lot of schools, when they authorize something like this, you almost use it as an extension of your operations fund. So those big ticket items that come up in year 1, 2, and 3, so you start mapping out those larger expenses and try to match that up with the proceeds that you have. And again, that's why we try to build those cliffs as well, so you can continue doing that in the future. It's kind of just an extension of your operations fund, but it's not that you need to spend all of it in 1 year. You have some time to spend those proceeds as things naturally come up that may not be budgeted for.
and Stiefel helped us put together a kind of maybe a 10-year, would you call it, about a 10-year plan for bonding, and I'll send that to you so you have. I know I showed some of you in my office that document, but I'll send that to you so you have it handy. But so we've been working on a plan, a long-term plan to map out any larger expenses. We took our facility assessment that Ton and Blank conducted for us. We're trying to predict out the future a little bit on what our needs might be, what the wants might be of the school corporation, and trying to make sure that we stay ahead of those things. We do have 3 large sections of roofing that are out of warranty now. Knock on wood, we haven't had any issues with them, but that'll be something that we'll want to address here in the next few years. Boilers are, another thing that they were replaced 10 years ago, but we have pretty hard water around here, and one of those is already not working, and so that'll be something we'll want to consider, and so those are some things.
Always maintenance for something.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's also worth noting that we had discussed when we met with Luke back in, is that December?
Mm-hmm.
Or thereabouts, when Luke did a presentation for you, did some training, that with Senate Enrolled Act 1, even with us maintaining our current levy, taxpayers should still see a reduction in their property tax bills for, is that 2026 pay 2027?
Pay 26 because that homestead credit will start this year.
Oh, so this year.
So I think it's just worth noting to make sure that everyone knows that as well.
Right.
Yeah, anybody else have any questions for Luke?
No, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now open the public hearing. Remember, if you would like to speak, please sign in on the sheet which is located right back there. As I mentioned earlier, we ask that you state your name and address, limit your comments to the proposed project and financing. Keep any comments to 3 minutes and avoid being repetitive if possible. May I have the sign-in sheet now, and I will begin calling the names of those who are interested in speaking. Is there any? Nobody. Okay. Would anyone else like to speak? If so, please state your name and address and sign the sign-in sheet after you are done speaking. Anyone want to speak? Thank you to all who participated in the hearing. We appreciate your time and interest in the project and the future of our community. Please note that this is just the first step in the legal process. No board action is legally required at this meeting. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment. The board will continue to work with the administration and its professionals to look for efficiencies to conserve tax dollars while meeting our educational needs. The board will hold a second public hearing in this boardroom on March 10th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn
I'll make
this
the
part of the
motion.
hearing? Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, meeting is adjourned. Next, we go on to the virtual in-person school day.
Yeah, so I communicated with you last week, and the administration met on Friday when we had another virtual learning day, and we discussed our upcoming scheduled or planned virtual learning day that's on March 4th on the calendar. We've used our 3 allowable, as I call them, old-fashioned e-learning days. We've also used 3 live instruction virtual days, and now the next, if we would have another day out, we'd go to our snow makeup days. The second snow makeup day is this Friday, so it's not looking like we'll have any need for that. There'll be one left on May 1st, so if we would happen to have another day off of school due to inclement weather, we would reschedule for Friday, May 1st, and then if we'd have any beyond that, we'd go back to virtual learning, at least according to our current procedures. So we were discussing March 4th. We felt like we've been out of school enough and we don't need to have a planned virtual learning day at this point. It's worked well in the last couple of years because we've not had as many days out. It's been nice for professional development for our teachers, but considering how many delays and closings we've had, it'd be my recommendation to you that we switch that March 4th planned virtual learning day back to a regular in-person student day.
Questions or comments? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to be in-person school day on March 4th because there's no substitute for being in a classroom. The days are wonderful, that you get to do those virtual days, but they just don't, it's not the same, they don't take the place. So I'll make that motion. Do we hear a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, be in school that day.
Thank you.
Consent agenda, including payroll claims 1-5 and 120, 2026, and transfer claims 71906 through 71936, 71937 through 71971, including the consent agenda. Any comments, questions? Just so you know, I had to look it up, what magic school meant. Everybody's going to magic school, and I'm like, what is this?
Well, what is it?
It's AI training, how to deal with
so
AI.
Artificial intelligence training.
Yeah,
so-
It's an educational.
It's like teacher training, because they're all going.
Have been using it.
Oh, I
and
would
we had
like to
training.
go.
Yeah.
So this is a way of them having the 2 hours just to practice themselves or use something that maybe they don't know how to use.
Yeah, and they're showing
I'll be
them
there to support them.
lesson plans and
Yep.
how to look up stuff and how to present, it's
And
everything.
there's also a student component, so you can kind of let the kids
Okay,
play with AI a little bit
okay.
without it being that public
yeah,
part of it.
great. So that's magic school for you. Any other questions or comments? Do I hear a motion to accept the consent agenda and the payroll claims and transfer claims?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carried. Donations to elementary student assistance, $703 from the White Horse Saloon. To third grade field trip, $140 from SCPTO. Our motion to accept those donations.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carried. Administrative report.
Okay, we'll start with our principals' reports, and we'll start with Mr. Kimmel. Mr. Mills will be down in just a minute. He's been attending to the junior high girls basketball
Yeah.
game, but he'll be down momentarily as well. Mr. Kimmel?
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to go over a few things going on at the elementary. The girls' 5th, 6th basketball is off to a great start. They're playing very well, including a 50-4 victory in their first home game. So
Over.
Who was
Was it
that?
Knox or
over?
Couts.
Couts?
Couts.
Couts, it was
Couts,
Couts.
Couch.
It's a good win.
They played at Washington last night, and so they have a few games coming up, a few more home games coming up here in the near future. They've got a few road games as well, so.
Yeah, I think 6th, 7th, and 8th
Yeah,
are all
all won.
undefeated right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Has 5th played yet?
Fifth has not played
Yes,
yet.
I'm not
No,
sure
it's
if
just been
they-
sixth. It's just been sixth.
They will
I
soon,
believe,
too.
so. Yeah, but they're playing very well. So we're proud of those girls. Our Riley fundraiser starts March 9th. So every year we raise money for about 3 weeks, and hopefully we continue to have the success we've had to raise the money that we have. We were at over $25,000 last year, so we want to get to that total. I think 20 or 25,000 last year. I believe we have an outside chance of reaching, for the amount of years we've done it, we have an outside chance this year of reaching 100,000, if not this year, total-wise, 100,000 this year, 100,000 next year. So we're going to push for that. We had our spelling bee when was that? We had our spelling bee a couple weeks ago, and Mr. Mills, Henry Mills, was our victor in that competition. So it was a good competition. We had 3rd through 6th graders compete. We had Henry win, a 6th grader. We had a 2nd place winner, Nora Posel. She's from 6th grade as well. And then our 3rd place finisher was actually a 3rd grader, Bobby Camp. So it was a good competition. Henry will move on to the regional B at PNW in mid-March. STEM week is this week, so we take 1 week every quarter, and we have our classrooms work on STEM projects. Some of them pair up with other grade levels, some of them do them on their own, but this week is once again a STEM week, so it's an exciting time in the classrooms. Magic School PD was already brought up. Deb does a great job of lining up that PD for us. It's just a tool that teachers can use with students or on their own for planning purposes, but I was in Mrs. Boss's classroom a couple weeks ago, and she had different assignments differentiated for the students using Magic School. So she put in the kids' names and put in their levels on different skills, and it assigned assignments based on those levels. So it saves a lot of time, and it's helps teachers group kids, helps teachers find material that the kids need. So it's a very valuable tool that we're going to learn more and more about. We're going to use AI much more in classrooms, I'm sure, in the near future. iRead 3 starts very soon, week of March 2nd. Our 2nd graders will start the week of March 2nd, then our 3rd graders will test the week of March 9th. We always do very well on this test, and so we expect the same results again this year. It's becoming more and more high stakes, which is unfortunate in a way, but our 3rd graders, they must pass it if they're a general education student in order to move on to 4th grade. So it is what it is. It's testing season starting here at South Central. Staffing and personnel update. So first of all, Mr. Mulkey is back in the classroom as of Monday, so we're very happy that he's back teaching 5th grade, which moved Mrs. Cuff back to her 1st grade assistant position, which then we had Mrs. Mendoza was working in pre-K. She got a different opportunity in a different work setting, so we wish her the best. She did a great job for us. She's still driving bus for us, but she's working elsewhere. So Mrs. Lauren Carey, who was our lunch recess assistant for a few hours in the middle of the day, is now our pre-K assistant. And then Mrs. Rice, Mrs. Leah Rice, will take that position of lunch recess assistant. So we are fully staffed. We're very fortunate to always, seems like we are usually fully staffed, and we're very fortunate of that. We have a lot of parents, typically moms, that want to come in and be an assistant throughout the day, and so they do a nice job for us. Any questions?
All right, any questions from Mr. Kimmel? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mills?
Good evening, everybody.
How they doing down there?
seventh grade's winning right now.
Okay.
So, and I finally found, or was able to watch my daughter's first basket this season. I missed
Oh.
every single one of her shots that she made. So the running joke was, do I want to be in the gym or out of the gym so she can make baskets? So, but they're winning against Morgan tonight right now.
Good.
So it's kind of a few things. I have a laundry list of items here to kind of go over, but I want to congratulate our spelling bee champion, which was Hannah Best from last month. It was a crazy 22-minute exchange between her and Lucas Schaefer, where we ended up running out of words at some point, so I had to find another list of words. So, but she'll be participating on the 19th of March at PNW as our representative for the junior high. We had our Snow King and Queen coronation last week. The winners for that, our king was Fisher Trotsky, and the queen was Mia Thompson, so congratulations to those two. If you guys were in attendance, everyone looked phenomenal, and you know, too bad we could only choose 2 people, so, but they very well deserved to be. But we're also going to have the dance to kind of celebrate them a little bit, as well as everybody to kind of get the jitters out for the winner on the 21st. It's going to be from 7 to 9 p.m. A little change of time. Usually people get picked up around 9 p.m. anyway, so we want to kind of get it right at the normal cutoff time when people are already danced out for the evening. Coming up in the beginning of March here before the next board meeting, we have Mr. Scheck has let us know that there's the South Shore Brass Band is going to be coming in, so they're going to do a demonstration for our kids, for elementary as well as the junior, senior high, and then they'll do a community performance for anyone that's interested on the 3rd. To be determined the exact time. I think it might be 7 o'clock, but don't quote me on that officially. I think that is the time on that, but apparently it's an amazing show. So if you want to catch a good brass band, it's on the 3rd of March. We also, I didn't have it in my initial information to you guys, but we do have a blood drive. That's going to be next week on the 19th in the Student Activity Center. You know, every donation counts, and our kids do a great job of donating for good causes as well as our community members, and so it's a great service that we do here at South Central. Also, I think it was in your guys' agenda notes, Amy Morrison is going to be taking over the position for the junior musical. Justice Anderson just said it was just a little too much for 3 of them, so and Amy has been kind of helping her along the way a little bit, and Amy's kind of eager to get back a little bit at the stage. I know she's taken a little bit of time off from when she did it last year, but she's going to do a great job of being another great resource for the elementary kids, getting that little knack of being in theater again. Going into our curriculum updates, our 8th graders get the honor to being selected for NAEP testing. That's the National Assessment of Educational Progress, or NAEP for short. We have 50 of our kids that get randomly selected, and those kids, basically it's kind of setting the norms for the nation's report card for English and math standards. So not only do those kids take iLearn, but we get a special year of doing NAEP testing as well, and that'll be here towards the end of this month. I think it's the 25th is when we'll be doing that. Mrs. Santana has been in communication with the NAEP representatives, because they actually come in and they do the testing. It's not our staff themselves. And we have our SAT testing that will also be on March 3rd. That's for our juniors. Last year we did a breakfast for the juniors, and we're going to do that again this year. I think it was a big hit for the kids to come in, and administration cooks them some pancakes, sausage, bacon, you name it, and to get a good meal before they go and take a test. So we'll do that on the 3rd of March as well. And then the last things I have are just kind of athletic updates. Our varsity girls basketball team just finished their season last week. They lost to Culver Community in the first round of sectionals, but they finished the year off with a 10-13 record. They had a little lull at the beginning of the season, but kind of bounced back as the season went on. So hopefully the future is a little bright for them to build upon and get some good positive momentum into next year. Our boys varsity team, they actually have a 17-4 record as of today. It's the best record that they've had since 2008-2009. So they got their 5th loss. That season was at sectional against Argus. So it's been quite some time. But they also have senior night coming up on the 24th. And then sectional draw will happen, and the sectionals will be that first week of March, the 3rd through the 7th at Culver. As we said, our 7th and 8th grade basketball teams are in session tonight. Their first PCC matchup against Morgan Township. Both teams are undefeated. 7th grade's 4-0, the 8th grade's 2-0. Looking to continue that into the end of the night tonight, and so far 7th grade's in a good shot with that. Our junior high boys volleyball team's also in action again tonight. They're in LaPorte right now. They're trying to become 3-1 on the season. Their first loss was that first game. Mrs. Santana and myself kind of talked a few of the boys into joining the volleyball team. They were not so sure, and I think now they've kind of bounced back and said actually it was a good decision to join the little short season here in the winter. This upcoming weekend on Valentine's Day, if you're interested, we have the PCC cheer and dance competition. It's here all day from 9 a.m. is when the competition starts to question mark, because it's a pretty long, lengthy event. But if you're wanting to cheer our girls on and their cheer stunts as well as our dance team, we'll be here. And our last two things, just kind of some outliers of sports that we have. We have one swimmer this year, which was Mallory Rinker. She, once again, had a phenomenal season. She swam with the HNAC conference. She actually became the conference champion this year with how well she did. Individual medley champion for the 200 meter, as well as she had the record holder for the 100 meter backstroke this year with them, and just finished off just on the outside of moving on in the swim sectional this past weekend. So she knows where she wants to go for next year and drive to the future, maybe making it onto the next cut, as she got a little bit closer this year than she did last year. And then we had one bowler, which is Nick Wright. He's actually a transfer in this year with us, and from LaPorte, and he actually he made it to state. He's going to be performing at state on the 21st of this month. So a lot of fun, cool things going on with our athletic programs, and love seeing kids being successful on and off the courts, and as well as in the classrooms and the hallways. So good time to be a satellite.
Always a good time to be. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Mills?
I believe the basketball team is ranked for the first time, too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Top 15.
They're fun to watch.
14 now? Yeah.
14.
We play Washington, which is like 11 or 12 this week.
Yeah.
What's that?
Play Washington, which is also
Is it
ranked.
there or here?
Friday night at
It's not that
Washington
far, you can
Township.
make it to there.
Stop it.
Sherry, come pick you up
When's that?
Friday night
Yeah.
at
Friday.
Washington
This Friday?
Township.
at Washington Township.
Oh, I thought it was Thursday.
Friday.
Friday 13th.
Oh, God, I don't know if I can.
Bad luck for them.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, thank you, Mr. Mills.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Probably also worth noting, we know Mrs. Camrath's retirement is official, but Mrs. Kim Eisminger did also submit her retirement.
I saw that.
She's a special education teacher, so that was in your packets, you probably saw that, but, so she technically is a LaPorte employee, everything through LaPorte, but she's one of ours, so she'll retire at the end of the school year as our 7th and 8th grade special education teacher. So,
We also thank Buzz for his years of football coach.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
yeah, Buzz gave us, was it 9? 9 years as head football coach, and the third longest tenured? Fourth, okay, thanks.
Okay, go.
Yeah, we've had a couple, with long tenures in Bob Schellinger, Bob
Dick Serwick.
Holmes.
Serwick.
Dick
and-
Serwick, yeah.
And then, because Bob Holmes, you surpassed then, right?
No, it
He's up there
Goes-
too?
Dick Serwick, then Holmes, then Schellinger, then me.
Okay,
9, 10, 11, 12.
Mm.
so, but, yeah, so I appreciate Buzz's service to football, and,
We have anybody in line?
nope, I think Mr. Wilhelm will get that posted, and we'll start working on that right away and keep it posted. So, and then the only other thing I had in my administrative report, and I wasn't sure how much we discussed the general obligation, but I don't want to beat a dead horse here, so I don't really have too much to say about it. I just wanted to make sure that, that we were able to hit on the points of, keeping our we were managing to a tax rate. When assessed valuations were going up, we'd leave our rate the same because we'd see a little bit more in the operations fund when assessed valuations were going up. Well, now that those have kind of flattened out and/or we're going to see some more, tax credits and some reductions in assessed valuation, they've kind of trained us now. Now we're looking at managing our levy, which is the amount of money that we get in those tax dollars. And so I think it's just worth noting again that, we're just trying to keep the levy the same so that, we're trying to bring in a certain, same number of dollars in debt service. So that's different from the operations fund budget that we were talking about, but at least in debt service, it'll maintain that so that we can continue to make our normal payments on time for, for our existing debt. So, and I'll be interested to see as, time plays out here, what, everyone's tax bills look like, because everything that we've seen, they should be going down this year then, with the new SEA 1, which is obviously good for our residents and all of our stakeholders here. It's a little challenging for us financially, while also combating all the increased costs of everything. It's just like in your homes, everything costs more here too. So we have NIPSCO for gas, that costs more. Our electric rates
Didn't
are
you
up.
say 50%? We were up 50% from one month to the next or something?
The,
On the radio the other day, I heard you say something.
Yeah,
Yep,
was it the January bill was,
Yeah, it was
about double.
significantly higher, yes.
Yeah.
This delivery charge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The delivery charge is awful.
Yeah.
it's more than your bill.
Twice
Mine
as
is,
much
it's mine,
as
I
the
only got
bill.
gas
As
for
the
this
bill.
go, but
yeah,
Yeah,
twice as
it's-
much as the bill.
Yep,
Yeah.
it is.
So, but our NIPS goes up, RMC is pretty good to work with, but those rates are up. The fuel for the buses are up, the buses themselves cost more, the soap, paper towel,
Everything.
toilet paper, and the
Yeah,
bathrooms
everything.
cost more. So I get, like the governor wants us to do more with less, and we do want to be responsible and courteous to our taxpayers, but at the same time, it's a challenge to do that when everything costs more, just like it does for everybody in their homes. When you go to the grocery store, or get your car fixed, fuel it up at the gas station, all those things, everything costs more, and it's been, it's a challenge. So it's just kind of a balancing act, but that's all I have.
Okay.
Anything else to bring before the board? Anybody have anything?
not tonight.
Not tonight? Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Meeting adjourned.